welcome back guys to another episode of Selling Books with the Book Mind. Today I am going to teach you and hopefully help you improve what you're doing now when you are making a title for a book. I know some of y'all will be like, well, what do you mean, how do you make a title for a book? You put on there book. No, wrong. You don't put on there book. It's actually pretty complicated when you're making titles. It can be pretty complicated if you don't know what you're doing, because you got to understand the better your title is, the easier it is for people to find you. The easier it is for people to find you, the more money you're going to make. The more money you make, the happier you are, the more things you can spend money on. So, today we're going to talk a little bit about making titles. So, you can't see this, but in front of me, I have a Danielle Steel novel. It's a hardcover book. So the first thing that you always do, or the first thing I always recommend to do, is put Danielle Steel as the first thing. Oops, spelled that wrong. Helps if you spell things. If you spell things incorrectly, no one will find your items. No one will find your items because no one else spelled it the way you did. And if you don't spell it right and they can't find it, you don't sell it. So the first thing you do is put in the author's name. Danielle Steel, Stephen King, Stuart Woods, anyone, don't matter who it is. If you're selling lots of items and they're all by the same author, very important to put the author's name in the title. I recommend putting it in the first thing you do is put the author's name before you do anything else. Alright, so the next thing I do is we're going to describe what kind of book it is. Is it a paperback book? Is it a hardcover book? Is it spiral bound book? I think that's about it. Yeah, I think that's about it. So, for instance, I've got a hardcover, so I'm going to type in hardcover. This is the most obvious thing that most people do not think of. I don't know why. They just don't think of it. Maybe they're not smart. Maybe they are. I don't know. But we type in the word book because it is a book. You're selling a book. You're not selling a DVD. You're not selling a map. You're selling a book. So type in the word book. It's a book. The next thing you want to put in is novel, because a lot of times people will type in novel when they're looking for novels. This is a novel. If you have space in your title, you can put in the name of the book. For instance, this one's called Country. When you're selling lots of books, you don't want to type in every single title of each book because you don't have the space. It's not necessary. But if you have space to do one or two out of the entire lot, I would find out which book is more famous than the rest, which one sells the most, and use that title, because even though they're not looking for, maybe they're not just looking for that book, that's the one they type in, so they're going to see everything you have, and you have a better chance of selling it. So for instance, if I had a lot of 5 of Danielle Steel hardcover books, I would put Country right now, because that is the book in front of me. I don't know any of the titles at the moment, but that's just the book in front of me. For this is the best-selling book of this particular author, that's the title I would put. Next, you describe, what is it? Okay, is it fiction? Is it non-fiction? Is it romance? Well, what is it? This is a fiction book. It is not real. It is fiction. Make-believe. Don't type in make-believe, but it's fiction. You can put non-fiction, fiction, romance, things like that. So we got Danielle Steel. We got hardcover book. We have novel. We have the title of the book, Country. We have what kind of book it is. It's a fiction book. Now, don't waste your time putting the condition of the book in your title. It's not necessary. That's what your description is for. You got your description for that, and you also have all these little buttons when you create. Well, let's go ahead and create a listing. So say I created this listing. Okay, you can see all the other people here. Oh, that's another thing. If y'all have a first edition book, first printing, first edition, first anything, put it in the title. It might not seem like a smart thing to do, but I promise you it's a smart thing to do. Put it in the title. You want to make sure you put in their first edition, because you can sell it for more money. B, when people are looking to buy first edition, they're going to type in first edition on the search bar because that's all they want is a first edition. So write in first edition. Let me do that real quick. Okay. First edition. Now, if it was a first printing first edition, I would type in first printing first edition. This is probably not a first edition. I'm not listing this book for real. I'm just showing you how to do it. Once you get that down there, you don't have to put, you see how these people put 2005, the year it was printed? Not necessary. 1,000% waste of your time. Because people don't care when the year printed. If they're looking for that book, they're going to type in the title of that book. They're not going to type in what year it is. 99% of the people have no idea what year the book was printed in. Next thing you want to do when you're making your titles. This is a good title, by the way. I was talking about titles. Getting distracted. This is a good title. Danielle Steele, hardcover book, novel, country fiction. Where'd my first edition go? Well, they took away my first edition. I don't know why. I guess they didn't like it. I liked it. They would say first edition. Let's put it in here just so you understand. Okay. You want to look at your category. You want to make sure it's in the correct category. This is a novel. This is not a textbook. You don't want it in the category of textbooks because people aren't going to find your book. You don't want it in nonfiction. It's not an audiobook and it's not an other book. It's in the fiction and literature because that's what it is. Make sure it's in the right category. ISBNs. Now, if you're listing an individual book, then yes, you can type in an ISBN. If you're listing lots of books, then put does not apply because there's no way to type in every single ISBN. I list 99% of my books as good condition unless they're in poor condition or acceptable condition, which I usually don't sell. I'll throw those away. Or they're brand new. I don't do like new. I don't do very good. I believe those are misleading. They're either in good condition, they're brand new, or they're trash. Who wants to buy an acceptable book? Now, there are reasons to use acceptable. If you've got a book that was written by Jesus Christ way back in the days and it's falling apart, that's worth millions of dollars. That's something you would put on there as acceptable and someone would buy. If you put on a Danielle Steele book up there as acceptable, people are going to keep scrolling past your listing because no one wants to buy a book from Danielle Steele falling apart. Condition, description. The only time you need to type in this is never. Recommended specifics. You don't really need to make your own. Just read over these. Sometimes if the title has like blue in it, they'll put the color of the book is blue when it's not. eBay's not the smartest one in the world. See, genre, country. It might be, I don't know. That's just the title. But I just clicked accept all for the most part. Now see how it puts on there first edition? When you put it on the title, it automatically says first edition. You can just click on the button first edition. For the rest of this nonsense here, it is not necessary to fill out. I sell hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books. That's not necessary. The only time you want to click the little button there that says sell as lot is when you have a lot. If you're only selling one book, do not click sell as lot because it is not a lot. Item description. This is where you put whether it has writing, highlighting, tears, wears, anything that could be wrong in the book. If your cat pooped on it, if you dropped it in the toilet, this is where you would put that information. If you stepped on it and you bent it, this is where that information goes. Not in your title, it goes in your item description. I do mine as a fixed price, 30 days. I always have my things on sale, so when I price my items, I price it for higher than I want it to sell for. Then when I put my percentage on there, it drops the price to where I want it to sell for, and eBay thinks it's on sale, so they put it up higher in the search results. I always let people make offers because I am not this book guru who knows what people want to pay. I think a book is worth what someone is willing to give me for it. So as long as I make a profit, I will accept their offer. I'm not really that picky. I do bulk, so every penny counts. 60-day returns. I do 60-day returns. I do free returns. I have absolutely no problem with this. People don't read their books and return it in 60 days. Well, maybe it's a couple people. I've had couple returns, but maybe my return rate is probably like 1% to 2% of my sales. That's it. I'd highly recommend using your 60-day returns plus free returns with books. They don't weigh anything. Even if they do return it, you're out like $2, $3 at the most, maybe $4. It's not that much money. Shell out a couple of dollars, because I promise you, doing this will make more people buy your books than if you did not do this. If you make the buyer pay for return shipping, something is wrong with you. You shouldn't be selling on eBay. Books don't cost that much to ship. Take the hit, move on to the next customer. Someone else will buy that book. Just relist it. I don't do calculated shipping. I do free shipping. Like I said, shipping books is pretty cheap. It doesn't cost that much money. Put it in with the price of the book. If you want to sell it for $10, shipping's $2, sell it for $12. $13 actually, because you got fees and shipping. Or $14. Do the math. Do free shipping. Now here you can promote your listings individually if you'd like. You can put them on a volume pro. Yeah, you can put them on a discount. Say they bought 3 or 4 or 5 books, you can put 5% off they buy 4 books, 10% off they buy 4 books. I don't do that because I list a lot of books all the time, so I do it in bulk, and they're all the same. And then you would obviously, up here, you're going to add your pictures. You add your pictures on there. Click the little button here, it says list item, and there you go. That's how you create a listing for a book. It's not complicated, it's real simple. It takes you about 1 minute to make one listing. The hardest part is to figure out what to do with your title if you don't already know. I made it simple, now you know. Danielle Steele, hardcover book, novel, country fiction, first edition. You don't have to put any stars on here, no exclamation marks, no like new, nothing, all that nonsense. This is all you need. This is going to sell your book every time. This is how you make money doing books, especially if you're looking for volume, because it's real quick. This will take you maybe 2 minutes at the max to list one book. You can list hundreds of books a day doing this. It's really simple. Thanks again for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, follow me, tell your friends about me, come watch me again. Leave a comment. You like the video, you don't like the video, let me know. I'll see you on the next one.